Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into your source material, sift through every detail, and, well, extract the most compelling nuggets of knowledge to help you become instantly well-informed.
That's right.
Today, we're not just summarizing a story, we're launching into a truly classic, profoundly thought-provoking scenario directly from the iconic world of Star Trek.
Yeah.
It's an exploration of reality, perception, and, the startling power of the human mind.
Absolutely. Our deep dive begins with the Starship Enterprise. The source describes it as one weary ship.
Weary is putting it mildly, right? After 3 months.
3 relentless months of deep space exploration. I mean, just imagine that. 3 months with no real break, always on alert, navigating the unknown.
The exhaustion must have been immense, not just physical, but mental, too.
Exactly. A deep mental fatigue, really permeating the whole crew, even Captain Kirk, the resilient leader.
The guy who never seems to stop.
Right. Even he admits to feeling a kink in my back.
Yeah.
And there are clear, undeniable signs of, profound fatigue.
McCoy noticed it, too, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Dr. McCoy, the chief medical officer, he observes Kirk's struggle, notes his inability to relax, even with help, and just this desperate need for sleep.
So the stakes are already high, even before they find anything weird. The crew's effectiveness is compromised.
Totally. And that means the ship's safety is compromised, all down to sheer exhaustion.
So given that desperate need for rest, you can just imagine the relief, right? When they find what seems like the perfect solution.
Oh, absolutely. A huge collective sigh of relief, probably. They find an uninhabited planet in the Amacron Delta region.
And the descriptions sound amazing, like paradise found.
They really do. The sources paint this picture almost idyllic. It's remarkably like Earth, or as the log says, how we remember Earth to be.
So green lawns, trees, flowers, quiet.
Exactly. Park-like, beautiful, green with flowers, trees, green lawns, and crucially, quiet and restful. It sounds like an absolute dream oasis appearing out of nowhere.
For a crew cooped up on a starship for 3 months, that must have been incredibly alluring.
Almost intoxicating, I'd say. The promise of it under those conditions.
Wow. And the initial scans seem to back it up.
They do. That's the thing. Initial scans from the Enterprise confirm their hopes. No animals, no people, no worries.
Just what the doctor ordered, as McCoy puts it.
Precisely. You can bet McCoy was thinking about long naps and peaceful walks, but there's a little hint right there in Kirk's own log.
The catch.
Kind of. A subtle clue, but critical. He describes the planet as almost too good to be true.
Always a warning sign in these stories.
Almost always. That little flicker of intuition, it hints at the mystery about to unfold. It sets the stage perfectly, doesn't it? This isn't just finding a nice planet, it's the start of something else.
It really is. Because paradise, it starts to unravel almost immediately. Dairy's logic defies their own technology.
Right. While the crew is still buzzing about this amazing find, thinking about relaxation, the first really strange reports start coming in.
From the scouting party on the surface.
Yeah. Dr. McCoy, the ultimate skeptic usually.
He radios Kirk with something unbelievable.
Totally unbelievable. So fantastical, it just challenges everything. He insists, really insists, that he just saw a large rabbit pull a gold watch from his vest and claim that he was late.
Wait, like Alice in Wonderland. The source actually says that.
It does. Like something out of Alice in Wonderland. I mean, what kind of cosmic joke is that?
It's so absurd.
Yeah.
How does Kirk even react?
Well, understandably, he tries to rationalize it. He even jokes about it, right? Mentions a little blonde girl following the rabbit through a hole in a hedge.
Referencing the fairy tale McCoy mentioned?
Exactly. He even wonders if McCoy, who can be a bit of a prankster, is maybe trying to, pull a fast one to get him to beam down.
But McCoy's serious.
Deadly serious. His insistence, that direct, as a matter of fact, yes, when Kirk suggests the girl was there, that forces Kirk to take the report under consideration.
Which is significant because
it flies directly in the face of their own advanced sensors. Those sensors detected no animal life. None.
So you've got top-tier Starfleet tech saying one thing.
The gold standard for data, yeah.
And a trusted, rational officer reporting something completely impossible.
Exactly. It creates this immediate, really unnerving gap between established fact and what McCoy swears he saw.
Okay, so while Kirk is trying to wrap his head around a talking rabbit,
which is weird enough,
Mr. Spock comes in with a different problem, a more personal one for Kirk.
Very personal. Spock, always logical, always observing. He's been looking at the logs, McCoy's medical notes.
And he sees something worrying about Kirk himself.
Yes. He points out that the captain is showing clear signs of stress and fatigue. It's not just the kink in his back anymore.
This is measurable stuff.
Cold, hard data. Spock lays it out. Kirk's reaction time is down 9 to 12%. That's a significant drop in his ability to respond quickly.
Wow. And there was something else, an associational rating.
Right. Norm -3, which Spock calls much too low. Now, that sounds like jargon, but it essentially means Kirk's mind isn't making connections as fast as it should.
His cognitive function is impaired. Decision-making under pressure. That's affected.
Demonstrably diminished. And the result, he's becoming irritable and quarrelsome. Clear signs of compromised judgment, emotional strain.
So what happens? Spock can't exactly order the captain around, can he?
Well, this leads to a fascinating and frankly pretty unusual situation in Starfleet protocol. Kirk initially refuses, right? I'm not falling apart, that kind of thing.
Typical Kirk. Stubborn.
But Spock explicitly orders him to take rest and rehabilitation.
Spock orders Kirk. How?
The reasoning is absolute, unyielding, Spock states. A crewman's right ends where the safety of the ship begins.
Whoa. So it's not a suggestion.
It's a direct command, overriding the captain's own judgment for the safety of the whole ship, the whole crew. It really highlights how Starfleet works that greater good.
And it shows how serious Spock thought Kirk's condition was.
Absolutely. It forces Kirk onto this mystery planet, basically under orders, for his own good. This isn't a vacation choice anymore. It's mandatory R&R, almost like a psychological intervention.
So Kirk beams down, probably still fuming about being ordered around by Spock.
You'd imagine so, yeah. His authority temporarily bypassed by Vulcan logic.
And things on the surface just keep getting weirder?
They don't stop, they escalate, they become more personal, and they keep defying everything they know about science.
Like what? While Kirk's trying to deal with his mandatory rest?
Or forced confrontation with his fatigue, maybe. Mr. Sulu, who loves botany, he's checking out the plants.
Expecting maybe some new species?
Probably. But what he finds isn't a plant, it's an old-time police special gun.
A gun. Just lying there.
It's just lying there. Described as being in beautiful condition? And here's the kicker. It hasn't been made in a couple centuries. It's a historical artifact.
How does Sulu even know what it is?
Well, that's part of the weirdness. He knows the exact details, excitedly describes how it works. Byers lead pellets propelled by expanding gases. Almost like he, I don't know, wished for one.
Yeah, okay, hang on. Didn't the scan say no refined metal?
Exactly. Another direct contradiction. A huge one. The rabbit was bizarre, maybe some weird biology, but this is a manufactured object. Specific alloys. A history. Appearing out of thin air.
So it's not just living things appearing, it's objects too.
That's the first big clue. Objects are materializing. And maybe, just maybe, these objects connect to the person finding them. Sulu even says he always wanted one like this.
Suggesting a link to his thoughts, his desires, even subconscious ones.
It really shifts the mystery, doesn't it? It's not just random weirdness anymore. It feels more specific, personal, almost intentional, like the planet is responding to them.
Okay, so Kirk's got a talking rabbit report, a phantom gun showing up, and his own first officer basically telling him he's unfit for duty. What does he do?
He does the Kirk thing, makes a command decision. He immediately cancels the main shore leave party for the rest of the crew, puts their safety first.
Good call.
Absolutely. He demands proof it's harmless before he risks anyone else on a planet that's breaking all the rules, defying every sensor reading. He's not taking chances.
So this perfect, restful paradise
is rapidly turning into, as Kirk puts it, one very unusual shore leave. The search for rest has become this disorienting, unpredictable puzzle. Kirk has to put aside his own needs to protect his crew from, well, from what? They don't even know yet.
It's unsettling, benign on the surface, but increasingly strange underneath.
Indeed. So what stands out to you here? Put yourself in their boots, maybe Kirk's, maybe Sulu's. You're exhausted, desperate for a break. You find this apparent paradise.
Sounds amazing.
But then your tech, the stuff you rely on for survival in space, says one thing, no life, no metal, and your own eyes, your trusted colleagues, say something completely different.
A rabbit with a watch, a gun that shouldn't exist.
How do you reconcile that? As a Starfleet officer trained to trust data, trust science, what do you believe? Your instruments or the undeniable evidence of your own senses? The reports from people you trust?
That's a fundamental conflict. It challenges everything they think they know about reality.
It's a profound dilemma. More than just a plot point, it's like an existential test. It forces them to rethink how the universe works. And believe me, it's just getting started.
Right, because as we move forward, the planet's influence seems to get deeper. It shifts from these, like, general oddities
The rabbits and guns?
to things that are intensely personal, manifestations tied to their memories, their desires, even their fears.
Exactly. The planet isn't just showing them random stuff anymore. It's weaving their inner lives into the reality around them. It's quite startling.
So Kirk, for example, what happens to him?
Kirk gets hit with a blast from the past, a visceral one. A figure emerges that embodies this deeply unresolved personal history. Finnegan.
Finnegan, who's that?
Kirk describes him not just as a classmate from Starfleet Academy, but as his own personal devil, a tormentor who loved practical jokes.
Oh, that kind of guy.
The worst kind. Kirk mentions waking up to a bowl of cold soup in your bed or finding a bucket of water propped in a half-open door. Just constant humiliation.
That sounds awful. Kirk says it made him absolutely grim.
Which apparently just delighted Finnegan no end. So there's real animosity there. This isn't just some random encounter. It's like the planet reached into Kirk's deepest resentments and pulled Finnegan out.
Wow. So the planet is literally making him face his past.
Precisely. And this is where we start to see the planet's core mechanism, its astonishing, almost therapeutic power. Kirk confesses something.
What's that?
A long-held desire, something he's carried for years, this simmering, unresolved burden. He admits he wanted nothing more than to beat the tar out of Finnegan.
And the planet.
Gives him the chance. In this bizarre ultimate form of wish fulfillment, it provides the opportunity. He gets into a full-on fistfight with this materialized Finnegan.
Fulfilling that personal grudge.
Exactly. It's more than just action. It's about the subconscious mind. What happens when your deepest desires, maybe even repressed anger, suddenly become real, tangible?
It goes beyond sci-fi into psychology.
Deep dive into psychology, absolutely. It forces self-confrontation like nothing else could. The planet makes Kirk face his demon, and in doing so, offers this, wow, brutal kind of catharsis.
And it's not just Kirk experiencing this. The planet tunes into others, too.
Oh, yeah. It demonstrates this unnerving, frankly astonishing ability to tap into each person's psyche with incredible precision. It crafts these equally personal, often surprising encounters for other crew members, too.
Like who? What do they see?
Well, take Ewan Barrows. She was apparently just daydreaming about someone she'd like to meet. Just an idle thought, you know?
A fleeting daydream.
Literally. A moment of mental wandering, and boom. Suddenly she's being chased by this swashbuckling Don Juan figure.
Complete with props.
Complete with a cloak, sir, and a dagger with jewels on it. Just like something out of a romance novel she might have imagined. A direct materialization of a simple daydream.
Incredible. Who else?
Then there's Dr. McCoy. And this one really hits home, speaks to that universal human feeling of longing. He encounters Ruth, a past love from 15 years ago. And the truly remarkable, almost heartbreaking part, she haven't aged a day.
Wow. Just as he remembered her.
Exactly. Untouched by time. It's this potent mix of nostalgia and impossible longing made real right in front of him. A glimpse of what might have been.
That's profound. What about Sulu?
Mr. Sulu, always the adventurer, maybe with a bit of a romantic view of history. True to form, he finds himself in a sword fight.
With who?
A samurai. A classic thrilling scenario, probably pulled right from his imagination. Maybe a childhood fantasy fulfilled.
And Lieutenant Rodriguez. He saw birds first.
Yeah, birds first.
Yeah.
Which was already weird given the no animal life scans, but maybe seemed mundane compared to Samurai and Don Juan's.
But it escalated.
It seems so. He then reports seeing something far more dangerous, it's implied, from talk of a tiger spot and concerns about strafing runs.
Suggesting his thoughts may be spiraled. From something simple to something threatening.
It suggests a progression, yeah. From the mundane to the potentially dangerous. Maybe reflecting his own anxieties escalating. The planet mirrors the soul. You see not just desires, but fears, too.
So the line between hallucination and reality just disappears.
It becomes completely blurred. Non-existent, really. As Kirk says, after Finnegan apparently knocks him down.
Right. He says something like,
"One hallucination flattened me with a cloud on the jaw." That says it all, doesn't it? These aren't just visions. They're undeniably real, tangible.
capable of causing real harm, pain, fear.
Absolutely. And that's when the horror sets in. This paradise turns into a kind of prison. They realize they are truly trapped here with their own thoughts made manifest.
And those thoughts, especially the subconscious ones, the fears, the anger, they could be lethal.
Exactly. The planet shifts from being a curiosity, maybe even amusing, into a potentially deadly trap. The biggest danger isn't some alien monster. It's your own mind.
Then things get even worse, right?
Yeah.
With McCoy.
They do. The stakes are raised dramatically. Any lingering idea that this is somehow benign just shatters when Dr. McCoy is seemingly killed by one of these manifestations.
Killed, like actually dead.
It appears that way. A shocking, agonizing moment, especially for Kirk. His friend, his confidant, gone. Seemingly destroyed by something conjured from someone's mind.
That must have been devastating for Kirk.
It turns everything upside down. This isn't a weird shore leave anymore. It's life or death. And the enemy is internal, elusive, utterly terrifying. McCoy's apparent death galvanizes Kirk. His search for understanding becomes a desperate personal mission against this place.
So how do they figure it out? Does Spock come back down?
Yes, Spock manages to beam down, but with great difficulty. There's this growing power field that's draining the Enterprise's energy, messing with communications.
Making transport tricky.
Very tricky. Spock calculated he could only transport one more person down safely, and he logically chose himself. He knew his analytical skills were needed on the ground, urgently.
And he examines McCoy's body.
Yes. The body seems to have vanished and then reappeared, adding to the confusion. But Spock examines it and quickly makes a stunning declaration. It's not human skin tissue.
Not human. Then what?
He calls it a mechanical contrivance. He even compares it to the cellular casting we use for wound repairs, only much, much finer, more intricate.
Like a sophisticated replica.
Exactly. This is where Spock's scientific mind just cuts through the chaos. He suppresses the emotion, focuses on observation, deduction. He sees beyond the horror to the underlying structure.
And does he figure out more about the planet itself?
Oh, yes. His conclusion goes much deeper than just McCoy's duplicate body. He analyzes the structure and finds it has the same basic cell structure as the plants here, even the trees, the grass.
Everything, the plants too.
Everything. His realization, delivered with that typical Spock calm but huge impact, is the plants, the animals, the people, they're all being manufactured.
Manufactured. So the rabbit, the gun, Finnegan, Ruth, the samurai, even McCoy's body.
Right.
None of it was real in the biological sense.
Not organic life as they understand it, all fabricated constructs. Just imagine the technology required for that. Instantly translating thought into complex physical matter.
From grass to a thinking, fighting Finnegan.
It's staggering. It redefines manufacturing, biology, maybe even consciousness for them.
So Spock's breakthrough gives Kirk the key.
It leads Kirk to formulate the theory that finally ties it all together. It resolves all the contradictions. He figures it out.
What's his theory?
He concludes, we're all meeting people and things that we happen to be thinking about at the moment. Simple, yet profound.
So the planet reads their thoughts.
Somehow, yes. Our thoughts are read, Kirk says, and then these things are quickly manufactured and provided for us.
And the power field. The energy drain.
That confirms it. The huge power field the Enterprise detected, the one draining their systems, must be an underground manufacturing complex. A massive factory.
A factory that builds thoughts into reality.
Exactly. Instantly translating consciousness, desire, fear, memory into solid matter. It takes immense energy, hence the drain. It's psychokinetic engineering on a planetary scale, way beyond anything Starfleet has encountered. It's like a planet-sized 3D printer for reality itself.
Okay, so they understand how it's happening, but why? Who built this place?
Right on cue, the mystery culminates with an appearance. The caretaker of the planet shows up.
It appears.
Seemingly out of nowhere, very calm, very collected. And he explains everything almost casually.
What does he say? What is this place?
He reveals its true purpose. This entire world, he says, was constructed for our race of people to come and play.
Play. Serious.
That's the word he uses. He clarifies, using an old Earth name for a place where people could go to see and do all sorts of fascinating things. It's an amusement park.
An amusement park. All this terror and confusion for an amusement park.
It flips everything on its head, doesn't it? It's not malicious. It's not a dangerous experiment. It's a highly sophisticated, incredibly advanced recreational facility.
For who? Who needs an amusement park like this?
For his race. Apparently, for beings of immense intellect and development, the concept of play isn't trivial. It's essential.
How so?
The caretaker explains, more complex the mind, the greater the need for the simplicity of play. It's actually quite a profound philosophical point.
I guess for beings who've maybe transcended physical needs or normal problems, Processing their own complex thoughts becomes the main challenge.
That seems to be the idea. This planet lets them imagine your fondest wishes, relive old memories, or create entirely new ones. Anything goes.
Battle, fear, love, triumph, anything that pleases you can be made to happen.
Exactly. It's a limitless psychic playground, a place for imagination, for catharsis, custom built from each visitor's thoughts, where your inner world becomes the external reality.
Okay, but what about McCoy? Was he really just a broken toy?
The best news comes from the caretaker. The biggest relief. Dr. McCoy wasn't killed.
He wasn't.
No, he was simply taken below the surface for some rather remarkable repairs in that factory complex.
Repairs? So the technology could fix him.
Apparently so. McCoy even reappears, completely fine, marveling at how quickly and perfectly he was repaired.
So the body Spock found was just a placeholder.
A temporary manufactured stand-in while the real McCoy was being fixed. It explains everything.
Even Sulu showing up with chorus girls.
Even that. Sulu suddenly appears with 2 girls in a chorus line right after his samurai fight. The caretaker explains it's just another manifestation based on Sulu thinking about a little cabaret I know.
It responds that quickly, even to a fleeting thought.
Instantly, it seems.
Yeah.
It highlights how directly the planet responds, even to lighthearted passing desires. Everything that seemed terrifying or impossible now makes sense, albeit in an astounding way. It's all part of the amusement park's function.
A thought-powered amusement park. Mind-blowing.
So the planet, transforms in their understanding from terror and confusion to this place of infinite possibility, maybe even profound psychological exploration.
And the Enterprise. Is it okay now?
With the mystery solved, the power systems return to normal. The energy drain is understood, maybe controlled.
So Kirk reauthorizes shore leave after all that.
He does, cautiously. Now that they understand the rules, the mechanics. But with a very important warning.
Which is?
Proper caution. Meaning you have to manage your thoughts, you have to be aware of what you're thinking, because the planet will manifest it.
So the responsibility shifts. It's not about an external enemy anymore.
It's about controlling your inner world, recognizing the power of your own mind. The place offers catharsis, maybe fun, but it demands incredible self-awareness.
What about Spock? Does he stick around for the fun?
Spock, no. Ever logical, he chooses to return to the ship. For him, the whole thing, while scientifically fascinating, was, well, his words were, most illogical, a headwalk factor 1.
Headwalk factor 1. What does that even mean?
Starfleet jargon, basically meaning a deeply irrational, unsettling mental experience. For a Vulcan who prizes reason and order, it would be profoundly disorienting, He saw what he needed, analyzed it, and preferred the predictable logic of the Enterprise.
But Kirk, McCoy, Sulu, they stay.
They do. They decide to stay a while longer. They've kind of embraced the rules, maybe found some genuine release or wish fulfillment. They went from being victims of their thoughts to maybe masters of their own amusement park ride, finding actual rest in this very strange place.
Maybe even advanced beings still need a place where reality gets a bit blurry.
Yeah.
Playfully or therapeutically.
Perhaps. And this really brings us to a fascinating question for you, the listener, to think about.
Okay, let's hear it.
If your thoughts, your conscious wishes, your subconscious fears, all of it, if they had the power to instantly shape the reality around you, make it tangible, real, what kind of world would you create?
Would it be a dream come true? A utopia based on my best memories, my fondest wishes, like McCoy getting to see Ruth again?
Or would it inadvertently become a nightmare? A place woven from your hidden anxieties. Maybe old grudges you didn't even know you still held, your forgotten fears. Would you accidentally bring your own version of Finnegan to life?
That's a chilling thought. It forces you to really look inside, doesn't it? To examine what's actually rattling around in your own head.
It's a real thought experiment, a deep dive into your own mind.
Indeed. What kind of Finnegan, or maybe what kind of Ruth, might you bring to life, consciously or unconsciously, in a place like that? That's definitely something to mull over. A profound exploration of those incredible, often hidden connections between our thoughts and what we perceive as reality.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep exploring the boundless possibilities of knowledge.